D-Day, Landing Zone 5, 1st Canadian Parachute Battalion and the 9th British Parachute Battalion. Operation Tonga. The 6th Airborne Division were to protect the amphibious landings from assault from the east. This would expose them to certain attack by the 21st Panzer Division. The 1st Canadian Parachute Battalion would be the first to jump. They would secure the landing zone, take the high ground and destroy enemy strongpoints. The 9th Parachute Battalion, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Otway, would destroy the Merville battery while the Canadians gave them covering fire and protect their flank. In the evening of June the 5th, 1944, paratroops assembled on English airfields. A rousing talk by Lieutenant Pine-Coffin, strapping on chutes, equipment checks, faces blackened. A last-minute visit to the Kazi. Carrying 70-pound packs, they shuffle forward to board the plane. Chocks away. It seemed to take forever for their plane to become airborne. Climbing into the sky, the plane flew without navigational lights, barely 100 feet from each other. Below, through moonlit gaps in the clouds, a huge armada of ships could be seen heading for Normandy. As they approached the coast, they descended to 1,000 feet. And all hell broke out. Fierce flak, huge explosions lighting the sky, shrapnel holes in the side of the aircraft. Pilots automatically take evasive action and go full throttle, even though ordered not to do so. The pilots were to reduce speed to 100 miles per hour for the drop. Many did not. Searchlights light up the plane. Paratroops are thrown about as the plane twists and weaves. Flying this low, machine gun fire hitting the fuselage sounds like hail on a tin roof. An aircraft is hit and spiralling downwards crashes into the ground and explodes. In the light from the explosion, paratroops can be seen dropping everywhere. The plane descends to 600 feet. Some go even lower, with paratroop chutes barely having time to open before they hit the ground. One stick jumps above and ahead of our aircraft. The pilot manoeuvres violently to miss them. Red light on. Stand up. Hook up. Get ready to jump. Green light. Jump. Aircraft everywhere. Parachutes like falling snow. A jerk as your canopy opens. Tracer shells arching up towards you. You instinctively curl up your legs into the fetal position. But what the hell good would that do? Bullet holes in your canopy. The amber light from exploding shells all around you. You look down. You can see only water. You hit the water with a splash. You try and keep your head above the water as the canopy drags you along. You stand up in chest-deep water, your equipment, food and Sten gun all gone. You look around. Where the hell am I? The 1st Canadian Para had a terrible drop and was scattered widely, some drowning in the water. Of the 35 planes, 15 dropped their paratroops more than 2 miles from the drop zone. Likewise, the 9th Paras were widely scattered. As the landings were taking place, the RAF were bombing Merville battery. The bombs missed their target, falling amongst the paratroopers. Lieutenant Colonel Otway's plane comes under heavy anti-aircraft fire. A shell bursts close by, with shrapnel coming through the sides. Men are hit, but they'll still have to jump. The aircraft's tail is seriously damaged, making it impossible to steer. Otway and his men jump, even though not over the drop zone. They land directly on a farmhouse being used as a German headquarters. One of his men crashes through the glass roof of the conservatory. Germans rush out, guns in their hands. While still in the air, Otway came under fire. He crashes into the side of the building. Otway and his men are in danger of being captured or killed while still in their parachute harnesses. A group of Canadian Paras who had landed earlier open fire on the Germans. The Germans flee into the night. Otway arrived at the assembly point to find only 150 men out of 600 had found their way there. Most of their equipment had been lost, including the radios and mine detectors. The guns and Merville battery had to be silenced before the seaborne troops landed. With only 150 men, Otway arrived at Merville battery only an hour before it was to be shelled by the cruiser HMS Arethusa. The Merville battery had 4 guns which were protected by 6-foot thick reinforced concrete casements, was ringed with barbed wire entanglements, protected by minefields 100 metres deep, machine gun emplacements and 200 men. Luckily, a reconnaissance group had landed on target, had cut the wire and marked paths through the minefields. They had dug out the mines with only their knives. 3 gliders were scheduled to crash land on top of the battery. Only 2 arrived and both missed their targets. A hunting horn is blown and Otway's men charge. Immediately machine guns open up. Otway's men were caught in the open. Zigzagging, they run firing their Bren guns from the hip. There is a loud explosion and the shout of "Mines!" Some made it to the German defences. They threw hand grenades into the emplacements. They poured Sten gun fire through the embrasures, causing bullets to ricochet off the walls like angry bees. Shaken in fear and shock, the Germans quickly surrender. Suddenly, they come under heavy machine gun fire from the perimeter. But on seeing the German prisoners, they too surrender. Plastic explosives are used to blow the breeches of the guns. The badly wounded are carried out and moved on ammunition sledges. Of Otway's 150 men, 75 were casualties. Only 22 of the 200 German troops survived. Under heavy mortar and machine gun fire, Company C, 1st Canadian Para, seized Merville, destroying the 75mm gun and taking 42 prisoners before blowing the 2 bridges over the River Dives. At 0300 hours, gliders landed carrying Major General Windy Gale and the urgently needed anti-tank guns, jeeps and ammunition. Outnumbered by 4 to 1, the 6th Airborne Division fought off ever heavier attacks throughout the day. They held the line and achieved all divisional objectives, and the Merville battery had not fired a single shot. 1,166 soldiers of the 6th Airborne Division were killed during the Battle of Normandy. Most of them are buried in the Ranville Military Cemetery.